Yo, what's going on, gamers? Today I'm going to be teaching you guys about every single type of jump in Counter-Strike 2. Surprisingly, there are actually quite a bit of different types of jumps in the game, and I feel like a lot of people know about like the main ones, maybe like long jump or like a B-hop or crouch jump, but there's a lot more than that. And I wanted to cover in this video all the types of jumps that you can do, and also just get a little bit technical and talk about, like, you know, the unit height you get from these different types of jumps, the unit length, and different purposes and ways that you can utilize them in game. So yeah, I'm going to be teaching you guys every single type of jump in Counter-Strike, and before I get into that, I just want to thank the sponsor of this video. CSGOBig.com, a CSGO case opening website with a plethora of cases to open and a plethora of ways to play. My personal favorite is facing up to 5 other people in a case battle. If facing other people isn't your forte, you can just open cases and test your luck on your lonesome. CSGO Big also offers multiple other game modes to play and win from, as well as a free case system to earn as you play. They also offer a plethora of ways to deposit and withdraw, so check them out using code SLEEPY, and I'll leave a link in the description. Alright, to start, the jumps I'm going to be covering today are a regular jump, a B-hop jump, a crouch jump, a jump bug, a long jump, and a mini jump. So there are a lot of jumps in this game, all do different things, all have different purposes, and all give different unit heights. So we're going to start at the basic with a regular jump. Okay, so first things first, I have CL_show_pause1 open in my game right now, and this shows you a bunch of important information that you might want to know while learning about this stuff. So CL_show_pause shows your position on the map, your angle at which you're looking on an X and Y axis, your movement velocity, as you can see it changes by how fast I'm moving, and your stamina, which is basically a number that goes up or down based on if you've been tagged with a gun or if you've just landed from a really high height. It will basically bring your stamina down and it will cap out at 80. So it also shows your jump. So right now it shows 0.000, and this is because I'm standing completely still and I'm not in the air. If I do a regular jump like this, as you can see, that second number there past the 0.000, it's 55.83, and this is your consistent jump height if you're not b-hopping and you just go from the ground to a jump without crouching or anything like that. Now, if I add a crouch into my regular jump after I lift off from the ground, this will affect your vertical height. So from that 55.83, as you can see there on the left-hand side, if I add a crouch in, I can get 64.83, and this can deviate a little bit depending on where I crouch in my jump. But for the most part, it's going to stick between 64.83 and 64.5. There's really barely any deviation, but it is there. I thought I'd mention it. So yeah, if you add a crouch into your jump, you can add extra vertical height into your jump. So now that we've figured out the vertical axis for a regular jump, let's talk about the length. So from a regular running and into a jump, so if you hit 250 units with velocity with your knife out, which is the fastest you can go, and you just jump in a straight line without a crouch, you will get 218.7 units every single time when you just run, jump, and land. So that's your distance on a regular jump. Now if you run, jump, and then crouch, you extend this distance to 226 units. This can be pushed further, and we'll get into that further down the road, but just so you guys understand, a regular jump without a crouch is 218.7 units, and a running jump into a crouch gives you 226 units. So now that we've talked technicalities and all the unit differences between these types of jumps, why does it actually matter? So this box right here on Nuke is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. If I go up to this box from this side on this little lip and I jump without a crouch, I am unable to get enough height to get up on top of this box. Now, if I add a crouch into my jump, getting a little bit of extra vertical height, my character can perfectly clip onto this box. There are better, more competitively viable examples on Mirage. For example, the window jump from this little platform right here. If you don't crouch from this little block right here into the window, you will not be able to make that jump without getting that little bit of extra height into the window. These same principles apply to the classic van jump on Mirage. If I get up on the van and I crouch, I'm able to get up on top of this balcony, but if I get up onto the van here and I don't crouch, it is impossible to get up on top of here. Same goes for pretty much all over A site. If I just jump, I can't make it up on top of here, add a crouch in, and I am able to get up. Same within the corner of Ninja here. I can get up like this. And same with the corner of this box, except this one is a little bit inconsistent. There we go. So understanding this fundamental is absolutely necessary for unlocking this game to its fullest potential and being able to utilize everything on maps properly. Alright, so hopping back into Nuke, the next thing I wanted to talk about is what happens if you go from a regular jump into a B-hop. So a couple things are going to happen, and the first thing is that your stamina is going to briefly dart below 80. Now, the reason it does this is because you have something called stamina land cost. What this basically means is that every time that you land from a jump for a brief amount of time, if you jump again, it's going to be a lower height and a little bit slower. But if you B-hop, you can actually defy the game and go faster, but you will still carry on that same lower jump height. If I go from a regular jump into a B-hop, all of a sudden, as you can see by these stats here, it says 42.08 for my jump height, and my stamina at the time of my second jump was 66.8. So once again, from a regular jump into a regular B-hop without a crouch, your jump height will be about 41 to 42 units in height, and your stamina will be around 66.5. Now, just like the jump into the B-hop, if you jump into a B-hop but add a crouch into that B-hop, you can deviate the height once more, getting a little bit more height, and you can also deviate the stamina a little bit. I don't know why this happens, but it does, and it doesn't deviate a lot. It's like 0.3 to 0.5 stamina, which just, it makes a very unnoticeable difference, but it is there. So once again, you jump into a B-hop and crouch, you can get a little bit more height out of your B-hop, and this is important. The reason I say that this is important is basically the same philosophy as the non-B-hop version of this. So if I B-hop and I try and get up on top of this box, I don't have the jump height to get up here, but if I B-hop and add a crouch into it, I am able to get up on top of that box, and this just opens up new routes that you would have thought aren't possible. And just to say my word, source maps are made in a way that they are very cautious about the heights of things and the different structures that they put on the map. They are very thoughtful about the different heights when it comes to the way that your character navigates them. So keep this in mind when you're B-hopping. You can probably get up on top of something through a B-hop if you just add a crouch in. The next kind of jump we're going to be talking about is the mini jump. Now, it's in the title what the jump does. It's just a smaller jump than normal, and it sits right between a regular jump without a crouch and a crouch jump. This kind of jump is competitively viable. Sadly, you cannot do a mini jump 100% of the time, and it can only be done with a bind. I do have the bind, it's in my latest config video, so if you want to go watch that video, it'll be linked down in the description. To do the mini jump, you're just going to want to scroll up your mouse wheel slowly and just a little bit, like 2 or 3 clicks. And the way you will tell that if this worked or not is if your jump height goes from 55.83 to 48.02 or somewhere in that range. Now, the reason I say that this is competitively viable is because being in the air, caught with your pants down, is the last thing that you want in this game. So like I said about source maps, a lot of things are built with things in mind, such as your jump height and your character height and stuff like that. A common angle in competitive on Mirage is this angle on top of this bench right here. I can peek into cat this way and maybe catch someone with a head glitch who's maybe sitting on cat and looking to pick someone off mid. This is where the mini jump will come into play. Rather than just jumping on the bench and having more air time where you're kind of hopping up past the bench and then back down on it, if you mini jump up and onto it, you'll have a lot less air time, and there'll be a lot less of a chance for a guy to take your head off while you're just trying to get established on the bench. Another useful example is when you're playing mid in window, you can mini jump onto this thing right here and hold as an off angle in window, and once again, you just have a lot less air time getting up on top of this thing than you would if you did like a regular jump. If you played CSGO, you might remember this little trick with this barrel. If you came back, turned to it, and you wanted to peek apps, all you have to do is hold S and jump up on this barrel, and you would instantly clip up on top of this barrel. This is still doable, but with a mini jump. So as you can see, if I use mini jump, I can instantly clip up on top of this barrel and just start shooting in the apps. This is the only way to do this still. I remember learning this back in CSGO, and I remember trying it in this game and being like, wait, what the hell? You can't do that anymore? But you can with a mini jump. Okay, so the next type of jump we're going to be talking about is a long jump. Now, this is a very complicated topic, and I have an entire video dedicated to long jumps that I'll link down in the description. But basically, what a long jump is a bind that you press and use air strafing to extend the base jump length that you can get out of a jump. So remember those units that I talked about, the 218.7 by just doing a running jump, and 226 I believe if I just do a run jump and a crouch. You can push this all the way up to 245 units if you're just absolutely cracked at long jumping, but the base length that you're really looking for out of a long jump is a 240 unit long jump. To actually do a long jump, you're going to be needing a bind, so once again that config is down in the description, and in the config, by default, the long jump is going to be bound to mouse 4, and all it's going to do, as you can see in the keys there, is just quickly crouch and jump at the same time for you, initiating a long jump. Once you've pressed it and you're lifted off in the air, the next thing you're going to want to do is do something called air strafing. I'm not going to go into too much detail. Once again, there's a full in-depth video in the description. What we're going to do is just strafe back and forth and then crouch at the very end. And as you can see in the bottom left, just doing that, I extended my jump length from 226 units all the way to 238.9, which is a massive difference. Although it's only 12 units in difference, like I said about source maps, they're very detailed about the distance between structures and stuff like that. So pushing that extra bit of units out of your jump is very important. The main length that you're going to be looking for is 240 units, and the way you're going to get this is by going for air strafes and then crouching at the very end just before you land to squeeze out a little bit of extra distance. So right there, I was literally 0.1 units away from getting a 240. I was at 239.9, and let's see if I can get a 240 right now. Godlike. I love hearing that sound. But yeah, basically you're looking for a 240 unit jump, and this way you can clear gaps that you normally can't, and it also feels just very satisfying to get a good long jump going. To build off of what we were just talking about, I'm going to be talking about jump bugs right now. Now I will preface this by saying that jump bugs are not competitively viable, but they are actually useful when it comes to movement. So the reason a jump bug is so cool and useful is because it allows you to hit a B-hop where you don't lose any height from your B-hop, and you can actually get even more height than a regular jump out of it. If you combine the momentum of a B-hop with a jump bug, you get extra height, and the speed from the B-hop will give you extra distance, allowing you to clear gaps that you wouldn't be able to otherwise. Alongside the distance gain and the height gain, you can also take no fall damage when going for a jump bug. This is particularly satisfying when you go for something called a drop JB, where you say jump off of silo and hit a jump bug to take no fall damage. It feels really satisfying, and it's really cool to just walk it off. Alright, now that I've explained the uses of a jump bug, let's get into actually how to do them. So jump bugs are a little bit more complicated than they used to be a couple months ago, but they're still fairly simple. And the reason I put them after long jump is because you actually, for the most part, if you want to do a jump bug on flat ground, you need to long jump into them. So if I pull up my HUD right here, as you can see, I have my keys open. So if I long jump and then go for a jump bug, you can kind of see what keys I'm pressing. Basically, the way you go for a jump bug is by pressing a long jump bind and crouching in the air, and when you land, letting go of crouch and jumping at the same time. So once again, you long jump bind, crouch, and then you land, let go of crouch and jump to go for your next B-hop, and this will give you a jump bug. I'm just going to show you guys right now what it looks like when you've done it successfully. As you can see right there, I got a successful jump bug, and when I landed, I kind of popped up higher than I would have if I just hit a normal jump. If you don't want to do a jump bug manually, there's also a jump bug bind, which makes this whole process a little bit easier. All you do is press mouse 4 as your long jump bind, and then you press mouse 5, which is your other mouse button, to go for your jump bug. So it's a lot simpler. It's literally just going one mouse button, land, pressing another mouse button, and I'll demonstrate that right now once more. Mouse 4, mouse 5. There you go. The next way to get into a jump bug is just by going for a B-hop. You can go for a B-hop into a JB as well. You just can't go from a regular standing jump height into a JB. Thank you, Valve. It used to be a lot simpler than that. but you can also just B-hop into a JB, and I'll show that right now. B-hop, crouch, JB bind. It's as simple as that. There are other ways to get into jump bugs. For example, as long as you're not on flat ground, sometimes you can do a normal jump into a jump bug, or a jump bug into a jump bug, or you can walk off whatever you're on into a jump bug. This area on A right here, from heaven, is a normal jump into a jump bug, which I'll show right now. That was just a regular jump into a jump bug, and this is also a triple jump bug route. You can jump bug here, jump bug, and jump bug again up on top of this box, and I'll play that route again once more. This vent right here is a good example of another way to jump bug, as all you have to do is walk off of silo and go for a jump bug, and you can hit that thing without really doing all the fancy stuff. So once again, it's kind of just about different jump heights and testing around. Jump bugs are just a little bit more complicated than they used to be, but overall they're pretty straightforward. So really, that's about it for jumps in Counter-Strike. I hope that everybody that watched this video learned at least 1 or 2 things new, as that's really my main point with these videos. I know some people are going to be like, why the hell are you making a whole video about jumps? But yeah, I just want to teach people that maybe don't know and expand the movement community to its fullest as best as I can. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys in my next one. Peace out, y'all.